Hi everyone. This is a video for making up class today. So you need to watch this whole video if you missed live class today. So let's go ahead and get started. So I want to hear about how was your break? How was winter break for you? If you posted in the greeting question from yesterday, I saw what you said, and but if you didn't share, you can still go in and write in that discussion so that I can know how your break was. Or you can always send me an email too. I would love to hear from you. So our goal for today is I can write example sentence for our new vocab words. So today we have kind of a lot to do. So we're going to start with a greeting. I'm going to introduce a new unit that we're starting. We're going to learn our new vocab words, and we're going to have a little discussion on them. And then we are going to do a word wall assignment. So our greeting for today is, what do you think the word immigrant means? What do you think the word immigrant means? What do you think? What do you know? I would love to hear what you have to say and what you think. So please send me an email if you're watching this video, so I know your answer to this question. So we are starting a new unit right now that we'll be working on till the end of the quarter. So this new unit is going to be focusing on immigration and personal storytelling. So we're going to be learning about immigration, adjectives, past tense verbs, and storytelling. At the end of the unit, you will be writing a story about yourself and kind of your story, and that will be our summative for this unit. So this unit will actually have two summatives, a test, and a personal writing that you have to do that we will all get done by the end of the quarter. So we'll be working on it this whole month. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started, and we're going to be focusing on our first one right here, which is immigration and learning this new vocab. So we have 4 vocab words that we're going to be learning today. Our first word is migration. Migration. So migration means the moving from one place to another to live there. So let's think about what this word means. So we're just moving. And a good way that I like to remember that migration means moving is the M in migration and the M in moving. It's a little trick to help you remember that. So let's look at an example sentence for migration. Remember, example sentences are when the word is in the sentence. So an example sentence is, migration happens for many reasons. There are many reasons why people move to go live in new places. Okay? This word is also a noun, but we'll talk about that more later. So I want us to take a look at this picture right here. This picture, we have a globe, the world right here. Different people are standing on it. I like this picture because it kind of shows how people can move all over the world. Right? Why do you think these people are moving? What happened? Okay, another word we're going to be learning about is the word immigration. So immigration means to come to another country to live there. It's the act of immigrating. Okay, so migration, we're just moving. Immigration's when you're coming to a specific country. Okay, so let's take a look down here. So do you see this? I made the word immigration bigger here, and you kind of notice something? We look at the bolded text right here. We have the word migration inside of the word immigration. So migration means moving. Immigration means to come to a specific country. So in immigration, we're still moving, right? But in immigration, the part that's different is that you're coming, right? So if we look at this IM, that would be, if you know what a prefix is, that's a prefix. And that specifically means to come. So that's kind of the difference here. See how they're really similar? They're a little bit different. Let's look at an example sentence. So immigration is very common in the United States. right? It's really true. People come to the United States for many different reasons, and lots of people have come here, right? The only people that have not specifically come to the United States are Native Americans. If you're not Native American, that means your family has done immigration to the United States. So let's take a look at this picture. I think this picture does a really good job of showing what the word immigration means. So right here we have the flag of the United States, and we kind of have a door. We have different people here. We have a plane. So it kind of shows that people are coming in to enter the United States, right? They're walking through the door to come to the United States. They might fly in, they might walk in, or whatever the reason might be, but they're coming to the United States, right? So this picture helps show us the definition. Okay, so our next word is immigrate. Again, very similar. Immigration, immigrate. We have now, instead of the beginning being different, now our ending is different. So immigrate means to come to another country, to live there. Right? So the definition is pretty much the same too, except the immigration is kind of the act of doing it. Immigrate means you're actually doing it. See the difference there? Immigration is like something you can talk about. It's what it's common. It's kind of what happens. But immigrate is when you're doing it. It's a verb. Verbs are action words. It's something people are literally moving and coming. Okay. So an example sentence is many people immigrate to the United States every year. See how this is the action in our sentence? We can change the word immigrate to come. Many people come to the United States every year. We can't do that with this one, right? We can't say come is very common in the United States, right? Not the same thing. Because immigration is a noun, which would be a person, place, or thing. Immigrate is a verb, which is an action word. And we'll be talking about this more. And if you come to live class, we do a better job at explaining it. So it's easier to kind of understand what we're talking about. But let's take a look at this picture. I like this picture because it literally shows people moving, right? They're coming, they're all going in one direction to come maybe to the United States, maybe to a different country. But the people are moving and they're all going in the same direction. And this is our last vocab word for today. Our word is immigrant. Again, really similar from our other two words. Again, the only difference is the ending. That's why it's really important to make sure you know exactly what they mean. So an immigrant is a person. This is a person who comes to another country to live there. Okay, so immigration is a thing, something that you can talk about. Immigrate is something you do, it's an action. Immigrant is a person. An example sentence is Maria is an immigrant. She came to the United States last year. An immigrant is a person. Maria is our example here. Okay, so here is another picture that we have, and this is the map of the United States. People are standing on it. And here we have lots of different people. And here above their head is the flag of the country from that they came from, that they immigrated from. So this picture does a good job showing that people come from all different places, but now they're all living here in one spot. They came, so they're an immigrant. They're a person that moved. Okay, so we watched this video yesterday, but I want us to go through and watch it again today. And then we're going to talk about it a little bit, and then I'm going to explain our assignment. Okay, so 1 second, let me get this video pulled up. Okay, here we go.
Migration is the movement of people. It happens today, and it's been happening for hundreds of thousands of years. In fact, no matter where you live, your ancestors took a journey to get you where you are right now. Vocabulary. Let's go. Yo, migration is the movement of people from one place to another. Many come to America. Look at Marie. Her parents came when she was just 3. They were pulled by money and opportunity, pushed by a lack of jobs that led to poverty. When people migrate, it can be permanently or temporarily. Push factors or forces that drive people away. I don't mean like Porsches, war, famine, bad economy, natural disasters, and poverty. Pull factors, do it backwards. They make a new place more attractive. Jobs, freedom of religion or politics, or maybe you're sick of the metropolis. Immigration is when you move into. Emigration is when you exit. So you might be an immigrant from one place, but you were an emigrant when you left it. Left home for a new place. I plan to be here for a long time. Call it migration. Some people are forced. I chose with my own mind. Push factors, push people away from the place where they stay. Pull factors, pull people into a new place. We hope for a new day. Voluntary migration means he or she chose, and nobody forces where he or she goes. Like in California, when they hit gold, some people move to the West Coast. William left his Irish community for the U.S. and more opportunities. Even if it's voluntary, it can be that a place's push factors make you want to leave. Like when Ireland was really low on food, the famine forced William to move. But some are made to move. Forced migration, like Africans made to be slaves in our nation, or Native Americans who didn't plan to move till settlers took their land. Imagine if your family was forced to go along the trail of tears, far from home. Left home for a new place. I plan to be here for a long time. Call it migration. Some people are forced. I chose with my own mind. Push factors, push people away from the place where they stay. Pull factors, pull people into a new place. We hope for a new day. Migration can be seasonal, moving each year when there's a reason to. For work, or due to climate conditions, Matt's family follows crop harvest. Listen, sometimes immigrants can be refugees who fear persecution that I hope you never see. They live outside their country of origin due to their race, politics, or religion. Shira left Russia, said I had to do this because she was persecuted for being Jewish. Her family made a difficult trek through Europe and then further west to a land with freedom of religion. She could feel a whole new life beginning on Ellis Island. Yeah, that's why she saw the Statue of Liberty. She had tears in her eyes. Left home for a new place. I plan to be here for a long time. Call it migration. Some people are forced. I chose with my own mind. Push factors, push people away from the place where they stay. Pull factors, pull people into a new place. We hope for a new day.
Okay, so I hope while you were watching the video that you were able to see those vocab words in the video, and maybe that helped you make sense of them a little bit more. So right now we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk. I have some questions for you, and I want you to think about the video and think about our vocab words. So how are our vocab words similar? Number one, how are our vocab words similar? What makes them the same? All the words are spelt very similarly, right? And they all are only a couple letters different in spelling, and they all have more or less kind of the same definition, right? It's all about moving. But how are the words different? They're different because some are nouns and some are verbs, and they all have slightly different definitions, right? Immigrant is a person. Immigrate means to actually move, right? Immigration and immigrate, very similar, but not a little bit different, right? Why do you guys think these words are important? Why am I talking about, we could be learning about anything we want. Why are we learning about these words right now? Why is it important? Well, I talked about this a little bit earlier, but immigration is something that is extremely common in the United States and all over the world. Migration happens all over the world. Remember, migration means moving, but immigration is specific to the United States because people come to the United States, right? Everyone in the United States is an immigrant, a person that's come to the United States, unless you are Native American. Native Americans are the only people that naturally were born in the United States. Everyone else has come here, whether it was your family or your great-grandparents' family or your great-great-great-grandparents' family, right? In the past, your family wasn't originally from the United States unless you were Native American. So it's important to talk about. It's important to realize that this is part of our culture and who we are. And it's important to realize that we all have different stories, and that's what this unit's all about. We're going to be telling our stories. And it's important to realize that most people's stories actually don't start in the United States. And so that's what we're going to look at today in this unit. Number 4, I want you to think about what is something that stands out to you from the video. There are a lot of things in there that were kind of hard to hear about. Like the forced migration is one that kind of stood out to me, right? Forced migration means that the people did not have a choice because they were forced to do it. They gave an example of African American people who were forced to leave Africa and come to the United States as slaves. They did not have a choice. They're not naturally from the United States because they're not Native American, but they were forced to leave Africa and come here as slaves. That was forced migration, forced immigration. Another example of the forced migration was the Native American people getting forced off their lands. In American Studies this year, we've talked about that earlier in the year, if you remember that. If you remember talking about the Trail of Tears, how the Native people were forced off their land to move into reservations. They didn't have a choice, right? But there's also positive reasons why people migrate and immigrate to the United States, right? They might be coming for more opportunities. When some people moved in the United States in the gold rush, remember talking about that in American Studies? They came to California where they found gold, trying to get rich. It's a positive reason, right? Some people might move for jobs or seasons where they want to just live somewhere different, somewhere maybe is warmer or colder. So there's lots of reasons why people immigrate and migrate, and we're going to talk about that throughout this unit. So we're ending today with an assignment. So our assignment today is called 1/5 for January 5th, assignment word wall. So you kind of have 4 steps to go through and do this. You guys will need to get this worksheet into Notability. And it is 2 pages right here. You can see the first page. So we have I have the 4 words on here that we just went through. So let's look right here. It says kind of number 1. Let's make it a little bigger actually. So this is what it will look like when you put it into Notability. The first word is migration. I wrote down for you that it's a noun. Your job is to write down the definition on this line here. You need to use the definition that I gave you on the slides and in this video. You will lose points if you just Google and use a random definition. You need to use the definition I gave you. And then second step is you need to write an example sentence. So an example sentence is a sentence that has the word in it. So the word would be migration. I gave an example sentence when I talked about the words, but I want you to try to come up with your own sentence. That would be the difference between a 3 and a 4. A 3 would be you copy my sentence. A 4 would be you write your own. So write an example sentence. And then the last part is explain how the picture shows the definition of the word. So we talked about that in the video. So take a look at the picture, look at the word and the definition, and tell me how does the picture match the definition. And that's what you'll be doing for each of the words here. And then you'll need to turn this in on Schoology to get a grade. So make sure you submit it when you're done. And that will be it for today. Before this video ends, I just want to show you a resource that is in Schoology for you. So this is our Schoology page right now. So something that will be on Schoology is called the ELD word wall. It'll be a link. If you click on that, it'll open up in slides for you, and you will be able to see the vocab words and the definitions and pictures and my example sentences for you. So it's taking a second to load here, but so if you need that at any point, these words will be right in the top of Schoology for you that you can go ahead and take a look at if you need them. We will be using these words throughout the rest of the quarter, like I mentioned earlier. Okay, so that is the assignment and work for today. I look forward to reading your word walls. Remember, a 3 would be you use my definition or my example sentence, and getting a 4 means that you wrote your own example sentences. So please let me know if you have any questions. You can email me or see me in Google Meet in office hours. Okay, I will see you guys soon.